I guess so.
I'd like to call to order the regular school board meeting, Miamisburg City Schools, dated Thursday, June 25th, 2026. May we all rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Ansler,
Here.
Mrs. Getter,
Here.
Mr. Malley,
Here.
Mrs. Neese,
Here.
Mrs. Nunnery,
Here.
Ms. Chapman,
Here.
Ms. Dudley,
Here.
Ms. Dyer,
Here.
Mr. Kipp,
Here.
Mr. Homan,
Here.
Ms. Manning,
Here.
and Mr. Wells is here.
Next is C, it's the adoption of the agenda, it's approval for adoption of the agenda dated for June 25th, 2026. Any questions or comments in regards to that yet? D is the waiving of the reading of the minutes, approval of the waiving and the reading of the following minutes as presented, which was the regular board meeting dated May 21st, 2026. Special board meeting work session held on June 12th, 2026. E is the approval of minutes. Approval of minutes for the regular board meeting held on May 21st and the special board meeting which was held on June 12th, 2026. F is going to be the approval of the financial reports dated May 31st, 2026. G will be the recognition and appreciation of retirees. It is recommended that the Board of Education adopt a resolution of appreciation for the following employees. Robert Collar, 23 years. Kathy Ball, 32.8 years. Carly Jones, 28 years. And Melissa Sorrell, 27 years. H will be the approval of opening items A alpha through G golf. May I have a motion for those items, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Mallory
Second.
and seconded by Nyla Gibbons. If we go back, probably to the financial reports dated May 31st, Mr. Wells.
Again, standard package, in respect to everyone's time. If you have any, would like to read them, they're posted online on board docs, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
What is, I was going to ask you on the check register, what does, with legal, what does out of pocket mean?
I'd have to see the context of it.
Okay, well, you can just tell me some other time.
Okay, yeah, if you just want to send me an email with the transaction in question, I can look it up and give you more information.
Okay, thanks.
We are down to G, which is the recognition and appreciation of retirees. Shelby, I'll let you, actually, I got Mr. Holler, so I will start there. He's first on the list at 23 years. Resolution of appreciation, whereas Robert Holler has rendered 23 years service to the Miamisburg City Schools, and whereas Robert Holler's performance, conduct, and sincerity in carrying out his duty has exemplified the highest level of achievement, and whereas Robert Holler has distinguished himself as a substitute and bus driver in the Miamisburg City Schools. Now therefore be it resolved that the Miamisburg City Schools Board of Education pass this resolution as a token of its appreciation for his outstanding conduct, and that such resolution be part of the permanent minutes of said Board of Education dated June 25th, 2026. So congratulations to his 23 years of service, Mr. Holler.
retirees. All 4 of them were not able to be here tonight for various reasons. Most of them are on vacation, so we did tell them that we will get their bell and resolution to them.
Next up is Kathy Paul at 32.8 years.
Resolution of appreciation. Whereas Kathy Paul has rendered 32 8/10 years service to Miamisburg City Schools, and whereas Kathy Paul's performance, conduct, and sincerity in carrying out her duty has exemplified the highest level of achievement, and whereas Kathy Paul has distinguished herself as a substitute and a bus driver in the Miamisburg City School District now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Miamisburg City Schools Board of Education pass this resolution as a token of its appreciation for her outstanding conduct, and that such resolution become part of the permanent minutes of said Board of Education on June 25th, 2026.
Next, we have Carla Jones at 28 years.
A resolution of appreciation. Whereas Carla Jones has rendered 28 years service to Miamisburg City Schools, and whereas Carla Jones' performance, conduct, and sincerity in carrying out her duty has exemplified the highest level of achievement, and whereas Carla Jones has distinguished herself as a substitute and administrative assistant in the Miamisburg City School District, now, therefore, be it resolved that the Miamisburg City Schools Board of Education pass this resolution as a token of its appreciation for her outstanding conduct, and that such resolution become part of the permanent minutes of said Board of Education, June 25th, 2026.
Next, we have Melissa Sorrell at 27 years.
Resolution of appreciation. Whereas Melissa Sorrell has rendered 27 years service to Miamisburg City Schools, and whereas Melissa Sorrell's performance, conduct, and sincerity in carrying out her duty has exemplified the highest level of achievement, and whereas Melissa Sorrell has distinguished herself as a substitute and paraprofessional in the Miamisburg City School District. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Miamisburg City School Board of Education pass this resolution as a token of its appreciation for her outstanding conduct, and that such resolution become part of the permanent minutes of said Board of Education.
Is there any other comments or statements in regards to the meeting opening items A alpha through G golf? Hearing none, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Ansler,
Yes.
Mrs. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Maury,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Nunnery.
Yes.
Next, we have public comments. We have one green sheet. Ms. Gina.
Can I just
You know,
stand? Or
yeah.
can I just sit here?
Yeah, you can stand, you can sit. You know you're given 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Homan would have a stopwatch and he'll let you know when we're at about 30 seconds. So, go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Janet Danton, 10600 Dayton Cincinnati Pike, and I'm here tonight to convey my belief that it is crucial that there is transparent communication with our community about the school's fiscal situation. As district leadership plans for the potential levy, it is my belief that the board and leadership need to help the community and taxpayers fully understand the true financial impact of the Ed Choice expansion bill on our district, and to be completely open about the factors driving our current deficit. According to the Ohio Department of Education, 428 Miamisburg students use vouchers in the 24-25 school year. And even at a conservative estimate, that shows over $1 million tied to these students. But because voucher amounts can far exceed state funding per pupil, the real impact could have been closer to several $1 million. So before even accounting for transportation and other mandated services, that's a great expense. It's also important to note that approximately 80% of these vouchers went to families who were not low income. So this is not a narrowly targeted assistance program. It's a broad expansion of our public dollars flowing to private education at a time when public schools are already under strain. Given the scale of this impact, I believe the board should take a serious and transparent look at joining that effort. Over 300 districts have already signed on, including nearby districts like Centerville, Carlisle, and Northmont. Regardless of that decision, though, there are steps that can be taken now. I'm asking you to consider creating a clear voucher impact report so the community fully understands that financial reality. Making a formal resolution acknowledging the impact of EdChoice expansion and ongoing state funding shortfalls on the district, and continuing transparency in how the district is building its strategic plan to address the projected deficit. That includes clearly identifying the sources of financial pressures so residents can understand what's truly driving these challenges. And I'll close with this. When I was a junior in high school, my community failed a levy, resulting in significant staffing and transportation cuts. I watched teachers become deflated as their programs disappeared, and soon after learned that many of the classes I planned to take my senior year no longer existed. Once those opportunities are gone, they can take years to rebuild. I don't want Miamisburg students and staff to experience this kind of losses. I know you're working hard to find solutions, but at more than $1 million in impact, I think vouchers can should be considered carefully. Thank you.
Thanks, Jan. Appreciate your comments. Next on our board discussion, we're going to move. Megan, I know you're up first, but there she is. I thought you were over here. We are going to do something first, so that way they don't have to sit towards the end. Sorry, Carrie, you do. But we're in our donations at the end of tonight. We have a check that's being presented from Tony and Angie Pinto, and I'm going to let Steve talk about it real quick before we do the check.
So, Mr. Pinto, can you remind me of the name of your organization?
It's the A.M. Paula Charitable Foundation.
So they pick various donations to give out each year. And we're programs and people try to make differences across the board to kids' lives, people's lives. And so they were very generous in recommending and asking for $15,000 to help with our theater program here to help upgrade the sound system for our plays and musicals. And that is something that we've been working hand in hand with the theater department over the last couple of years. If you've noticed, it has really grown over the last couple of years, and very, very proud of that. And the $15,000 donation is going to help tremendously, and the district is going to work with to help make that happen. So we're not renting the wireless microphones, other options through our plan. I myself am very grateful for your very generous donation, and we'll be working with technology and our theater directors to make it happen. So I just want to thank you and everyone in the district very, very much. It's very generous, and that's going to go a long way to take us to the next step in the theater. So thank you very, very much. And then I was hoping that the board and the Pinchos could get a picture together.
Yeah. Before we do that, Tony, Angie, you guys want to say anything or make a comment? Or?
I just think the kids deserve it. They work so hard on every show, and then to have them go out there and pour their heart out on stage and have the mics keep cutting out or not working, it's frustrating for them, it's frustrating for the audience because we're wrapped up in it, and they deserve it. They work so hard to do plays. I mean, our son's involved, Amanda's involved.
and sometimes the arts don't always get the support that they need. So-
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for that, putting that into our system and for our kids to benefit from and the audience to benefit, everybody experiencing that theater performance is going to benefit from that. And my daughter, she's only in 5th grade, but she hopes to be into the theater program as she gets older, and I think that's just wonderful on that end too, so we appreciate that so much.
And your son is a great performer.
Thank you.
Do we get to hear you sing?
I cannot sing.
I want to thank you. I try to attend every performance from CPM, the little ones, all the way up through the high school. And I was involved in theater, and I performed up there on the memorial. And I think it's the same sound system. And that, it might be a little bit improved, but I agree. I feel so bad for them when things do happen.
Yeah.
This is wonderful. I can't wait for the next performance with the new technology.
Us too. We're just happy we could make it happen.
Thank you very much.
Picture time?
Yep.
Yes.
And like congratulations. All right, everybody smile. All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Ms. Megan, the floor is yours for the York update.
Yes, I like to wander. So I'll be moving around, I think. I'm Megan Newton. I'm one of the art teachers at the high school. I teach Art 2, Art 3, Advanced Art, and AP Studio Art. And I just love to do a little recap. So everybody knows what the art department has been up to for the whole school year. So I know in the district we always come up with like these key focus areas, but teachers do it individually as well. And sometimes that focus area happens afterwards. You're like, oh, I didn't even know that I was trending that. But my key focus area was pretty evident last summer, and it continued on. So I just kept on having this repeated art builds community, right? So art and music, it brings us together. So that's the lens of this whole presentation, and I invite you to think about how each one of these brings in the community with the arts. So I kind of broke this presentation up into art shows and then art experiences. So I'm first going to talk about, at the secondary level, what are some of our art show opportunities that our students have. I just broke it down by some numbers. So me personally, and then some of the other art teachers, we all kind of do at least 12 different art shows. And we are entering into these different shows and competitions. It starts in November, and then we pretty much have one each month, and then in March we have like 7. So many art shows and competitions, and these are just different opportunities that we have, and they range from all over locations. So as far north as Tip City, we had a couple students up there, and then we had a whole bunch of students at the Dayton Art Institute, and then at the Fayetteville Gallery, and at Middletown Art Center, and then we also have opportunities for students within the high school, because we have 2 big shows that go on there. It's the AP Art Showcase and the Holiday Hop Show, which is a pop-up show. So once again, we're bringing in the community to the high school, because so many kids have never been to a gallery before, right? So we want to bring that experience to them. And then within those competitions, kids are making their own work for it, trying to figure out how everything works. So I just went through a list, and we had 85 students this year submit to all of these 12 shows. And I'm not counting Art in Berg, and I'm not counting the AP Art Showcase, because they have to do that. These are students that I just put the calls up there, And then the students have to go through and they have to figure out how does their work fit into that call, because sometimes they're the theme. And then they have to prepare their work, which might be mounting it. And then they have to have a due date, a deadline of when the work has to be there. And they are all doing this, which is what I really want as a teacher. I want them to feel confident that when they become artists after they graduate, that they could still go and submit to any sort of art show that they want, and they have those skills. And within some of these shows and competitions, they give ribbons or keys, and within those 12 shows, we took home 35 ribbons, which if you think if you have one art show, you have first, second, and third place, our students normally got one of those ribbons, which is always a very exciting time. And I'm always just so in awe of these students, because it's such a vulnerable thing. Like, I made this work. Now I'm gonna go put it out there to these juried shows, and juried means that a panel of judges say yay or nay to your work, and then they put their work out there knowing that there's a chance that they aren't accepted. And I just admire that so much, right? And I think that speaks to our program of how we're just really trying to make them like risk takers. And this is a very safe space to take those risks. And be like, oh, well, you didn't get it in this time, but we could try a different show. So within those competitions, the students took home about $800 in total. And that is their money. So they show up to the reception, they bring their families and their grandparents and their aunts and uncles, and everybody's at the reception. They get a certificate and they get a check, and the students leave with that check. So it really helps them kind of be like, okay, that was worth my time to go into that show. And they're so happy, because that's like their little part-time job. And thinking about how art builds community, right? We go to all these art show receptions, and then all of the family members are there, right? Like, they're there celebrating these student artists, and it's just so heartwarming that that the community shows up for them. I can't highlight all of the individuals, but I can highlight Olivia Runge. So we have the governor's show. Now this is like really, really difficult show. I have never had a student actually be accepted into this show, but we always say, shoot your shot. It's $2 to enter. So this is the entire state of Ohio, and then there were 5,700 entries to the governor's show. And it's broken up by regions, and then in that region, they submit another number, like 50, and then from there, throughout the entire state of Ohio, only 250 works were chosen to be on display in Columbus. And our region just happens to be the state region of Stivers. So it's very, very difficult to get into this show. So I've never had anyone, and I'm trying to find the history of it, of have we ever had a student shown? And that, I can't find the history of it. But Olivia Runge was chosen, and there's Liv with their work, and this is a digital piece, and it's gorgeous. So that's my one person I do want to shout out. It's not just about high school. We have some elementary opportunities too. So Finn Davis does a great job. He does building shows. He does the Bauer Art Fair and the Kinder Art Fair. So he is out there still showcasing the work. Art builds communities, and we're bringing in everybody. And then he puts on at least 300 works out there. And this is different than Art in the Burg. This is just for his building. And then Jen Reckert, and this is kind of hard to see, but she had her students at Netherview do glow-in-the-dark artwork. So at the glow dance, all along the perimeter were all of our art boards, and then we have all of the neon pieces for grades K through 12. So once again, we're showing the work, and it's becoming part of the landscape, which is what we want. And then at the elementary level, we had 2 works. So OAEA is Ohio Art Education Association, and they host a show. It's called YAM, Youth Art Month, and we had 2 works in that show in Columbus. And then there's 5 elementary works for the western region of OAEA, so they're going to be honored as well. So is it for art shows, art experiences. So we have so many experiences for our kids in the art program. At the elementary level, there's a 3rd grade visit to Pyramid Hill Sculpture Park, where they're taking all of the 3rd graders to this really cool sculpture park, and they're engaging with the artwork. Because once again, we're not just creating the work, we're actually engaging with it in authentic experiences. So you can see a picture there of them working with that sculpture. And then at the high school level, this past year, we did a couple field trips. So we went to the Index Gallery, and that is a gallery on UD's campus at the Hub. And there's an artist, Sarah Brashears. She's fabulous. She's a mixed media artist. And we viewed her exhibit, and then she sat and she talked with us, and then she led the students through an art activity together, and they were just laughing the whole time, and it was the best. And then we were also able to go to the Middletown Art Center to view the student exhibit that they were in, the K-12 Gallery, which is in Dayton, and the Dayton Art Institute. So there was us working with Sarah Brashears in the gallery. And then I just got back from Italy and France. So we took Miamisburg students and families on the Artists of Italy and France tour. So we went to Rome, Florence, and Paris. And we saw all of the sites, but the best part was we went to all of the art museums, right? We saw all of the big dog, heavy hitter painters, and then in each one of the cities we had art classes. So in Rome we had a watercolor class, and in Florence we did fresco painting, which fresco is when you paint on plaster, which is how all the masters used to work. There's us doing some fresco. And it was with this Italian fresco painter, and we're at his studio in the basement. He doesn't speak English at all. There's a translator, and I'm like, I just want to learn everything, right? So he's like trying to teach me how to put the plaster on the wood, and I'm like, whoa, I'm trying to do this. But it was so fun, and he handmade all of the pigments. I'm just like, what is this real life? Like, how are we in like this space? And it was just so magical. And then that was my little watercolor at the Borghese Gardens. And then in Paris, we did a drawing class at the Luxembourg Gardens. So that was pretty magical to be like, now we're actually living it, right? We saw the Mona Lisa. We saw, you can see, we saw the statue of David. Okay, I was really excited about that. More art experiences. We do a visual art scholarship, and we fund that through the Paint Your Spot fundraiser, which has become a really fun tradition for our seniors to paint their parking spot. And then we do senior handprints, which we just finished our second year of that, and it's just going to continue going down that wall. I hope. That's what I want. That would be so fun. Where the seniors just pay $1, and then they can put their handprint and sign it. And I had the retiring teachers do it too. Oh, and they put like how many years they taught. It was so sweet. I loved it so much. And then we also fund it through Art in the Burg items as well. So there's one of the Paint Your Spot. And this year we were able to give a $2,000 scholarship to Allison Dunaway, who's going to UD for design. So art builds community, right? Now we're helping the future. This is the good stuff. You thought Italy and France is the good stuff, but now it's going to be Art in the Burg. This is the good stuff. There's a little character drawing of my little family. So we started Art in the Burg last summer. And I think what I love about Miamisburg is that we have these big ideas, and people aren't like, no, you shouldn't do that. They're like, ooh, yeah. They roll up their sleeves and they help us, right? Because Stacy Moore, shout out to Stacy Moore, she was the partner in crime. She was not like, she was in the trenches with us, trying to figure out everything on how to host this really big event. So just to kind of do a flashback to the Fine Arts Festival, which was in the Commons. This is just kind of like anecdotal. We had it in the Commons forever, and then we would have the music groups, and everything was still the same. And we would maybe have 300 people show up throughout the entire day. And because I like data, I would keep track of how many of my students stopped by. And it would range between 10 and 21. And that's how many kids would stop by, like of my students that would stop by and see their work. And I'm like, because everybody came for the elementary. And then it kind of like dipped off after that. So then we decided to revamp everything. And we came up with a map. We completely changed everything. It was at Kinder this year. And I was really stuck on a map. I wanted a walking map. That was my fixation. And then we partnered with SpringFest, and then so I felt like there were really two big parts to this. You have the art and music performances, and then you had the community piece. And SpringFest kind of helped with the businesses a whole bunch. And this year for Art and Bird, that was really different. We were like, listen, if we're going to do something this big, then we have to make sure that every student is represented. Every student has to have an artwork in Art and the Bird. Because before, we couldn't do that just because of the space. Like the art boards were just a little bit, we didn't have enough for all of our students. So we were really trying to figure out how do we get every single elementary art student there. And we did that through the Post-it Note show, which I think I have pictures of somewhere. We had lots of activities at Art and the Bird. So this was a make your own flower shop where people could go through and make their own bouquets, and then you just sit down and you color them. It was so cute. And then we had a secondary in the gym, and we had elementary all around the perimeter in these hallways. This was the Post-it Note show, so you can see that each one of those are itty bitty Post-it notes of every student who is in an art class, because I know at the secondary level they don't all have to take art. And I think that was the big ticket. So many kids just came just to see their Post-it note, which was so endearing. There was us in the gym, and then we had a little photo booth station. So there was lots of activities there. And then this is a senior, Aubrey Widener, and she was like, hey, can I draw caricatures? I'm like, you do it. So she set up a stand, she made her little trifold board, she did the cutout, and then she was just nonstop busy. Just like, there was a line for her to draw these caricatures. And I just love that she felt so confident to do this. Within the community aspect, the kind of words that we kept on hearing was it exceeded expectations, right? Especially for us as teachers, we're going from like maybe 300 people, and then we had a clicker standing at the doors at Kinder, and we took a couple hundred off just for human mistake, and we hit about 2,000 people. So, wow, that definitely exceeded our expectations. And then, I don't know if anybody was able to go to Art and the Bird, but when you went downtown, it was just shoulder to shoulder at some parts. You're just like, what is happening? And I was just so touched by how the businesses, they came up with their own craft activity, right? So you walk by Pet Wands, and they have their little paw prints, and then Frieditz had their little ice cream cone, and the Mythic Cards had their little design your own Pokemon card sleeve. And we didn't tell them to do that. We didn't give them any sort of guidance per se. They just did that. So once again, the art builds community. I love seeing their flyers. I mean, the businesses were just kind of taking it and running with it, and I think that was just a really nice organic thing that happened. I know that Frieditz had to call in more people because their line was out the door down the street, so they had to call in more workers. Mythic Cards said that it was their second busiest day, and that's including their opening day. So Art and Bird was their second busiest day. The Historical Society, they weren't even on the map, but they said that they were so busy that day. I was just like, what? They're like, yeah, people just came right over. I was like, that's sweet, right? I didn't realize that we were doing that. And then along the blue line, the full circle moment, because if you guys remember, a couple years ago, I came and talked about the blue line, because my kids painted the blue line. We had art in the alley, so we had all the artisans lined up, and those were kind of like a preview for SpringFest. So SpringFest was really in charge of the artisans. And we definitely hope to make it much bigger next year, because I think that there's a lot of stuff out there. Same thing.
Great job.
Yay, that's it. Thank you for listening.
I want to thank you. We are so lucky to have you in our art department, and I appreciate Stacy over here helping with that to make it possible. I was so impressed with Art and the Bird. I was with my family. We had a fantastic time. All, like you said, all the businesses, everything that made it come together, it was just very community driven. It felt very community driven. I think that was the goal of what you were trying to do, making art and community, and it worked out beautifully. And I am so looking forward to going every year with my kids and my family and finding all the little crafts and businesses is we didn't get to do everything. We were there for a couple hours and we still didn't get to do the characters. And but my kids are in the school system, obviously, so they were excited to see their work too. And it's just so fun. It just brings me so much joy to have someone like you who cares so much about the arts and bring that out into our community, sharing it with everybody. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you. And I wanted to say too, Megan, I enjoy talking to your students at the AP art shows. But, you know, I don't know, when I was going through school and everything, that we had the theory of multiple intelligences, and one of those is the arts. And, you know, that's where some kids' strengths are. And I just love, you know, that they can be featured throughout all these different art shows and and I appreciate all the work that all the art teachers at Miamisburg do. We have a phenomenal group of people, for sure.
Yes, yes, and we're so thankful to have that fourth art teacher at the elementary level.
I just want to say I loved art in the Berg. And I have a grandson who's majoring in art at Virginia Commonwealth University. He starts in the fall. So I've seen all different types of art that he's been exposed with and that he has developed. Very, very exciting. I've also been privileged to see outdoor art. I visited Monet's garden, and also I was so glad to see that you had taken the students to an outdoor sculpture park because I've been to Vigiland in Norway. So it is amazing. There's art everywhere, but people just need to open their eyes and see it. It's for us. Even nature is part of art. So thank you for exposing them to so many things that just will open their minds so that they can be successful.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Megan. Appreciate it. Very nice. I know the passion has always been there, so congratulations and thank you. Next, as you know, we have graduated 2 seniors that were on our student panel, and they have been replaced by 2 new students. So our 2 student board representative inductions, we have Amanda Dyer and Braden Kick. So I know Ann and Nyla were both part of that and have been on that since the inception and done a really nice job. So I'm going to have Ms. Nyla give a little introduction to you both, and we welcome you to our meetings each month. They can be interesting, sometimes they can be long, sometimes they can be short. So, but Ms. Nyla, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to welcome our new student school board reps, Braden and Amanda, to their first school board meeting. Braden is a sophomore and involved in band and student government. And Amanda is a junior who's involved in our student government and also in drama. In addition, she works a part-time job. I don't know how she squeezes it all in and keeps her grades up like she does. So we look so forward to working with our new reps as they join our current school board reps, Addie Dudley and Kate Chapman. So we've got a really strong group and looking forward to the future with them. And if you don't know, our student reps, they stay with us until they graduate. So it gives them an opportunity to develop experience and learn as they go. And they will stay with us until welcome.
I'd like to add, we put this out, it's an application process, and they go through interviews, and it's not easy. And we had a lot of strong candidates, but we were just very highly impressed with how you interviewed. It's amazing to see young adults, young teenagers be so well-spoken and prepared, and so we were highly impressed. And everybody that applied was very phenomenal, so welcome.
Yeah, our 2 reps that graduated, they were in on the interviews as well, along with Ms. Maney. So that we tried to give them we tried to really empower those 2 leading students with the decision making.
Well, and just to add to what Mrs. Neese said, it was amazing how the Andrew and Sophia, who just left us, how their leadership skills developed over time, because we actually put this in their hands to send out the calls for applications, to set up the interviews, and they did all that. So it was great to see that.
All right. Next, we have number 5, which is consent agenda. A is the approval of overnight out-of-state extended student trips. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the overnight out-of-state extended student trips. This is our media arts, New York annual trip. Mr. Freeze, that's on the camera tonight, he's a part of that. So I know he'll be excited that it's on tonight's agenda. B is the approval to participate in the EPC bus bid process. Miamisburg City Schools Board of Education wishes to participate and authorize the Southwest Ohio Educational Purchasing Council to advertise and receive bids on said bus board's behalf as per the specifications submitted for the cooperative purchase of school buses or bus sales. C is the approval class of 2026 early graduates. Michael Black, principal of Miamisburg High School, has recommended Emma Bishop for early graduation pending satisfactory completion of all state and local requirements. D is the approval of National School Breakfast, Lunch, Snacks, and Beverage Program. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the National School Lunch, Breakfast, Snacks, and Beverage Program. E is the approval of lunch prices. It is recommended that the Board of Education establish the lunch prices for 26-27 as follows. Elementary is breakfast is $1.30, lunch is $2.50, middle school $1.60, lunch $2.85, high school $1.70, $3.05 for lunch. And the adults that are in our building, it's a standard fee of $2.35 for breakfast and lunch at $4.75. All breakfasts and lunches include milk. Meal prices that you see and presented did not change from last year. F is the approval of resolution Maddox Lane Special Education. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the resolution as presented. And if you have or if you had looked on your iPads or Chromebooks, you will see the file attached. G is the approval of resolution Viking Success Center. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the resolution as presented. Again, it's in your documents on your Chromebook. H is the approval of consent agendas, again, A alpha through G golf. May I have a motion for those items, please?
I move to approve consent agenda items A through G.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Neese and seconded by Ms. Hunter. As we go back to the consent agenda, the overnight extended trip has been going on for a number of years. I know Mr. Freeze, I got calls on it in regards to getting the hotels, and I know there's a discount there, involvement, so I'm glad it's on here tonight, and we're able to get that done, to get those rooms at a cheaper price.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
And get that moving forward next year, so.
Thank you.
It's a great trip. There's good things about it.
Approval, B is the approval of EPC bus bid process, and I'll let Mr. Holman say anything if he'd like to say anything.
We approve just the resolution annually to participate in the bid. Purchasing school buses is one of the things that you're required by revised code to go out and to bid, and so by being part of the EPC process, they do all the legwork for you and get all the prices, so we do not have to do that. So by the board approving that, we're guaranteed to get the lowest prices.
C is just an early graduate. We have those periodically throughout the year. D is the breakfast, lunch, snacks, and beverage program. Those are the prices that were set from last year, and There's not a price increase, so that's no change there for the 26-27 school year. F is the Maddox Lane Special Education, and I will let Ms. Katie Lucas and the superintendent talk in regards to this matter.
So as we presented at a previous meeting, we're going to be working with a third-party vendor to expand our continuum of services within the district for students with special needs. So we're asking the adoption of this resolution as in support of us expanding that environment for our students so that we may keep them in district versus sending them to an outside placement. And then the next resolution is the other part of what we'll be doing with Maddox Lane, which is looking at alternatives to suspension, trying to keep the students, even though there may be a consequence, being able to keep them moving on their curriculum and then work with them on some practices to try to maybe help correct the behavior that got them there in the first place. So that will also be done at Maddox Lane. So again, it's a resolution of an expansion of our programming. I'm just asking for board support for that expansion.
And just to clarify, so by having the students with the IEPs, the special ed students at Maddox Lane, they'll still receive the same services that they received when we sent them out, but now they'll stay. And that, I would think as a parent, you'd be much more confident and feel better if your students stayed right in Miamisburg versus being bused to another location.
And it also gives us a little more flexibility as a student learns skills that will allow them to transition back into a regular building. It gives us a little more flexibility to do that as well.
Anything else, Laura, Stacy? You need anything?
Nope, that's today. You presented at that previous meeting.
Any questions from the board or comments from the board to the consent?
I just thought that resolutions were really well written.
I have a random question about the Viking Success Center. I'm assuming all the little kids' toilets are going to be replaced, like the little elementary school?
Yeah.
Like,
I think they're all regular height over there, actually. We touched, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
see, I told you it was random, but I just thought about my own kid
Yes.
at Medlerview and thinking about that. I'm like, I wonder if they have to replace.
Yeah, we consider that a cost if they're
Just curious.
I asked the same question about airborne preschool.
Okay, yeah.
That was, everything was for that, those children.
I'm in like the potty stage right now
Yeah.
with my kids, so
Yes.
I was just thinking about that.
No, it's a good call out.
Mr. Wells, roll call.
Mr. Ambler,
Yes.
Mrs. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Nunner.
Yes.
Number 6 is the human resource agenda items. A is the approval of personnel report certificate. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following personnel report. Employment in the Miamisburg City School District is contingent upon the candidate submitting to and passing an ECII and FBI criminal record check in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code and pre-employment and drug screening in accordance with the adopted board policies. May I have a motion for this item, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Mallory
Second.
and seconded by, now we got comments.
I just want to welcome our new hires.
Yes, that's what I was going to say as well. We have our principals for Mound Elementary. As some of you may know, Diana Keller retired, so congratulations to her. Teresa Brock will be replacing her at Mound Elementary. We're very excited to welcome her. And over at Jane Chance Elementary, Jessica Hoban took a position in Carlisle, and she will get the opportunity to be the principal where her children attend, which is also her alma mater. So she's very excited about that, and we're happy for her. But we're welcoming Tracy Hummer to join our staff there. And between them, there's almost 50 years experience being in education, elementary principals, in both of their past central office positions currently, and we're really excited to have them join, and they're very excited to join the 3-5 team. So, welcome. And thank you for coming today.
Anything you would like to say, either one?
I think we're just both really excited to be here and have a new opportunity and get back to working with some kids and really serving your community.
Yeah, it's been awesome to talk to not just central office, but to have to speak to some of the teachers too. And the pride that you feel here is so exciting to be part of it. I've heard that across all the people that I've met. It's just, it's really nice feeling to hear how you speak about the community, how your teachers speak about the community, and be part of that. So excited to be here.
You just mentioned something that I was going to bring up at the end of tonight's roundtable. So when I went to school, and I know pretty much everybody here that went to school, we used to have mascots. We got rid of the mascots, but I've had, whether it be parents or even a few teachers, reach out and say, have we ever given the consideration, and I haven't discussed it with superintendent, any board member, anybody in cabinet, but I was going to bring it up tonight in regards to asking them, and I'll ask you to, from your schools, did you guys have mascots at your elementary schools?
We're different than the whole district now.
So I'm going to ask my board tonight to consider what their thought is and get back with me in the next couple weeks or a week or so. I know we're going to be starting in August, but it's a discussion based to whether, and I was going to have superintendent take it to principal meetings to kind of see what their thought and kind of kick it back to you guys based on what the board said. I always liked the mascots in regards to, it gave the identity of the school, it gave it identity. I went to Mound. Started at Mark Twain, but I finished at Mound, and I'm always, it used to be the Mound Gophers.
Don't laugh, I was a gopher too.
Hey, I'm a gopher too. I think bring back the gophers.
I liked it. I think it gives the identity of the students, the staff, to go beyond just being a Viking. We're all Vikings at heart. But I do like the mascot idea, and I think it's a consideration that I'm going to ask my board to consider and then email me back with what their opinion is. So, I was going to bring it up tonight, but you hit the kind of, you brought it forward, so that's why I brought it now.
Thanks for that.
Just
That's okay.
just so, but that's why I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that you came from that. So I kind of know where I think you're going to head when we go into those meetings. So thank you for that.
And I want to add on something to that too. I saw in this the classified personnel report, we have a new hire for a PR position. And I think that including that new hire onto that discussion would be wise, just because I think that's kind of what their wheelhouse would be, to get their opinion on that as well, as far as PR, and that kind of plays into what Dana had brought up earlier during public comment, to segue right into that too, about having more information out for the public as well. But that aside, welcome, and I hope that you can stick around so I can meet you more formally after the meeting's over.
Yes, and I would like to mention the PR position. We're very excited about that position. Sean Sims, he's currently our girls basketball coach and a Miamisburg graduate, and we're really excited for him to come on board full-time. This is a position I think is needed and well-deserved to get our stories out there, to have someone full-time doing this. Our current position on public information and PR is a contract with a company that is delightful. They're not based in Ohio, so they're not on our campuses. And so we're just changing gears from a contracted service to someone that's here and in the community and can be in schools every day and not miss the fun daily things that we want to share happen. The big events are amazing and wonderful, but it's nice to capture the fun and just the daily learning that happens here. And so we're excited to welcome Sean full-time into the district as that position. So yes, thank you, Sean.
Mr. Wells, roll call.
Mr. Ambler,
Yes.
Mrs. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Nunner.
Yes.
B is the approval of personnel reports classified. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the following personnel report. Again, employment is contingent on BCII and criminal record check as always. So I have a motion for that item for the classified as well.
I'll move.
Motion by Mrs. Nunnery and seconded by Mrs. Gavin. Any comments, Mr. Holmes? No? Business as usual, as you say?
Yep.
All right.
I can't wait to get on social media and see all the things that our kids are doing and our teachers are doing, and sports teams and their drama, every single day. I've just wanted this public information officer, director for years. We're big into sports. My son is a coach, and you know, they're always posting stuff. I mean, multiple times a day, 12 times on Instagram, and I just want to see that. I want to see our kids doing artwork, checking their Post-it note art piece, you know, sitting in the classroom, playing a game while they learn, you know, their ABCs. I just can't wait to see it. I think parents will love knowing that their kids, they won't know every day, you know, which of their students are going to be featured. It's going to be exciting. Thank you for doing that, Ms. Manning.
Mr. Wells?
Mr. Ambler,
Yes.
Mrs. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Nunner.
Yes.
C is the approval of personnel reports, supplemental stipends, certificated and classified. As recommended, the Board of Education approve the personnel report, supplemental stipends, certificated and classified. May I have a motion for this item?
I move to approve the supplemental stipend personnel report.
Motion by Mrs. Neese, seconded by Mrs. Nunn. Again, Mr. Holman,
Business as usual.
very nice. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Ambler,
Yes.
Mrs. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Nunner.
Yes.
7 is agreements and contracts, approval of Montgomery County Educational Service Center agreement for 2026-27. It is recommended that the city of Miamisburg City Schools, Board of Education approve the attached master service agreement for Montgomery County Educational Service Center for the 26-27 school year as presented. May I have a motion for this item?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Mallory and Annie second. I'm assuming, I shouldn't assume, Katie Lewis. Man, I hit that.
This is just our annual agreement with Montgomery County Educational Service Center for a variety of services and placements that we utilize. We do this just once a year. And this is which Mr. Wells might be able to better explain than I can, because I always say I know enough to be dangerous, but this is the money from this comes out of the foundation payment versus being a PO that we
And we get back what we don't use, right?
Yes, correct. So there's a true-up process at the end of the year. For example, this year we had we actually exceeded what was withheld from our foundation payments, and ultimately we wrote the check for that, and then found a discrepancy that we're ultimately going to get a refund on. So, but in order to have a more of a consistent, flat-loaded expense stream on these high-dollar expenses. Ultimately, you're having deducted from our foundation payments, and that just saves some administrative burden as well.
Any comments? Hearing none, I have a roll call.
Mr. Antler?
Yes.
Mrs. Getter?
Yes.
Mr. Mallory?
Yes.
Mrs. Neese?
Yes.
Mrs. Nenner?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Carey. We're up to you. I'm getting
Some
to
great
you.
introduction or something. I color coordinated my outfit and everything.
All right, B is the awarding of liability, property, fleet, crime, and cyber insurance with Ohio School Plan. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the liability, property, fleet, crime, and cyber insurance with the Ohio School Plan as presented. Motion, I will do the motion for once, and I just need a second.
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Mr. Mallory. Tonight, we have Terry Novosel. You get the floor. I know Steve Homan has done a fabulous job along with our cabinet as we have looked at different things. So I'll let you explain, talk, whatever you want to do. The floor is yours.
Don't fall asleep on me because we know how fun insurance is, but thank you so much for entrusting the district's insurance with the Ohio School Plan. I am Carrie Novosel. I work with Highland Administrative Services. We're the administrator of the Ohio School Plan, which means we do the underwriting, we do the pricing, I don't personally, unfortunately for you, that I don't have the power of the pen, but risk management and claims services are all done in-house by experts in public entities. In addition to the Ohio School Plan, we also administer the Ohio Plan, which is our sister program for municipalities, cities, townships, and special districts like that, and another program for public schools and public entities by the name of Astra, which is in Indiana and Pennsylvania. As far as the Ohio School Plan goes, we'll try and keep this as brief as possible. It's a lot of information to try and condense, but we were established in 2002 by two ESCs in Wood County and Franklin County. It was formed under Ohio Revised Code 2744. Basically, when Nationwide was the premier carrier or the main carrier of all school districts in the state, they decided to, whether it was losses, whether it was just too difficult to provide coverage for all of the things that you guys do. I mean, you guys do a lot. So they formed this under 2744, developed a program in conjunction with a lot of reinsurers. Within your proposal, there's a page of listed reinsurers, all names probably that you recognize, hopefully. One of them you may not, by the name of Maumee Valley Re, excuse me. Maumee Valley Re is actually a reinsurance provider owned by Highland. When they were working through this program and trying to develop it, they wanted Highland to have some skin in the game. So they developed this reinsurance company just specifically for the Ohio School Plan. It doesn't reinsure any other program. It's specifically for the plan. Since 2002, the plan has evolved. In the annual report that you have, the center is actually kind of an evolution of all the coverages that have been added since the beginning. It's quite remarkable how things have developed, and because the board is made up of school leaders, treasurers, business managers, superintendents, you know, our board knows what you guys need. So as the program has grown, it's grown because of things that you know, people just like you have said, hey, we need this, we need this. Things like violence coverage. You hope you never need it, but God forbid when it does happen, if it does happen, if somebody goes on the premises with the intent to cause harm, there's coverage for that. I sadly had a client who did utilize that coverage a couple of years ago when there was an attack by an assailant with a knife. So there are coverages that have just evolved
through time. Currently, our membership is at 356. Not only do we have 2 public school districts, we have CTCs, Boards of Developmental Disability, and ESCs. Montgomery County ESC is also one of our members and one of my clients as well. We're strategic partners with OSBA, OASBO, BASA, and the OACB. And our program is really tailored for just school districts and risks like you. Each district has a dedicated risk manager. Steve will meet, his name's Greg Henneke. Steve will meet him soon. And he'll come out, take a look at all of your properties, look at policies and procedures, do all of that. He will monitor school safety and your policies and procedures with regards to school safety, shared services. He does in-service bus driver training, which is great. And he's also a certified playground inspector. He will come take a look at all of your playgrounds, and I'm telling you, if there's a gap this big that a hoodie string can fit in and potentially choke a child, he's on it and he's going to tell you to fix it. So he's a great resource to have. He's local, like I said. You can come out anytime. I'm local as well, by the way. Fairly local. I live in just behind Kings Island. So, you know, Greg is amazing, and so you can never hesitate to reach out to us, you know, for all of that kind of stuff. We have specialized claim service, and legal defense is provided by attorneys who know public school districts. The board of directors, like I said, is made up of officials just like you. We have a member gateway, which is a web-based system. It will give access. Steve will likely be the unfortunate soul who will be using that for renewals and all of that. But you can actually go on, get auto ID cards if you need, certificates of insurance, things like that. You're also provided, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before when we were going through the process, each member receives 2 free hours of legal advice every year to deal with any type of employment-related situation. And it is renewable every year, and it is cumulative. So if you need assistance, you only use an hour, you still have an hour left for that policy term, and then it renews the next year. We provide property appraisals for all of your buildings with a replacement cost value that exceeds $1 million. They're done every 4 to 5 years. That's at no additional charge to you. And that will probably happen the end of this year, beginning of next year. We use a company by the name of Kroll, K-R-O-L-L, I can never pronounce it, but Kroll will be out and they will do the inspections or the appraisals on your buildings to make sure that you have an adequate replacement, oh gosh, you don't have to have an adequate replacement cost value for all of your buildings. Let's see. So the Ohio School Plan is the only carrier in the state with a successful dividend program. Since 2015, we've given back $2 million to our members. And during COVID, we gave back $600,000 in auto liability premiums. We weren't using your buses. We didn't feel it was right to charge for those premiums, so we did return quite a bit back. In 2023, our board voted to provide $1 million cyber grant to all of our members. So that was distributed in early 2024, and it was used to help upgrade security systems. School districts are a huge target, I'm sure you know, from a cyber standpoint. So we tried to do our best to help our districts upgrade their systems to protect themselves from that. Our board is also subsidized quite a bit in terms of pricing in order to keep rates stable for the members. Cyber liability is an example. We had cyber actually used to be a part of the Ohio School Plan policy through the years, whether it was just losses, challenging in terms of pricing, and the reinsurer who provided that coverage just kept raising the price in order to minimize the impact on the districts. The board decided to subsidize some of that pricing. So they did do that. And then also with rate increases, I'm sure you all know, your personal insurance is no different. We hit a hard market, especially after COVID, and then rates just skyrocketed. Again, we wanted to minimize the impact on the school districts, knowing your funds are kind of limited these days, and so were able to subsidize that. This year, our reinsurance contracts on our property were amazing, the renewal we had, and it resulted in an actual property rate decrease. So many of our members received premium decreases this year, at least rate decreases. We also do, exposure changes, but so it's been kind of a pleasure renewal season this year to be able to go out and say, hey, you've had a rate decrease this year. It doesn't happen very often, so it was great to be able to do that. Let's see. Very financially stable. I gave Greg a few copies of our recent audit that was done, where the Ohio School Plan is actually audited just like you are. You can find the report on the auditor's website. It was actually just posted, I think, on Tuesday. So I did bring a few copies of that. If you have a hard time sleeping and need some assistance with that, you can take a read. But we are financially stable. A couple of things to note on the balance sheet. It shows a loss and loss adjustment expense, which is basically our forecasted amount that we anticipate paying in losses this year. Plus includes, that's in addition, IBNR, which is incurred but not reported, and then our surplus is in addition to that. So it's financial numbers and all that stuff are over my head, but we are in a very good position. We're actually in the process too of changing our fiscal year from 7/1 to 7/1 to 7/1 to 6/30. The majority of our school districts renew 7/1. So having 7/1 to 7/1 makes the numbers look a little skewed. So once we get that changed, the financials will look a little bit differently when that happens. So from a retention standpoint, when I say retention, the plan itself takes on some of the losses. We have all of these reinsurance treaties in place. Most of the large losses are spread among all of the reinsurers that provide the coverage for us. The plan itself takes on $150,000 of casualty or liability claims. Anything over $150,000 is paid by reinsurers. Property is $500,000, but that $500,000, it sounds like a lot when you think, oh my God, you have all of these districts, you're going to pay $500,000 for all these claims. Back in March, we had some storms move in through the 13th and the 14th. Ohio School Plan members, at least the count, the last number that was reported to me was among all of the Ohio School Plan members who incurred damage, the losses has exceeded a little over $6 million. Well, because that's one occurrence, the Ohio School Plan only had to pay $500,000 out of all of that. So the $500,000 sounds like, oh my God, you have this surplus and you're going to pay out, yeah. So it's very rare that would happen, but in the event of catastrophic loss like that, it's good to know to have that. We call it an occurrence limit, basically. So does that make sense?
Who pays the other $5.5 million?
The reinsurers. It's spread among all the reinsurers. So not one particular reinsurer is taking that big hit. Yeah. Yeah. So in the proposal on page 7, it lists all of them. You don't have, but it lists all of those. So depending on what the treaty is, and the agreement between us and the reinsurers is called a treaty, just like, I don't know, those Monroe doctrines and all that fun stuff that I don't remember from high school anymore. But yeah, it's an agreement between all of them, and they spread the risk so that not one company is taking the big hit. Let's see. Loss ratios. Steve had mentioned, somebody had asked what our loss ratios are. It is kind of a difficult question to ask because of all the reinsurance treaties that we have in place. So we thought the easiest thing to do would be to just kind of average them out. So for the 22-23 term, the loss ratio averaged to be about 43%. For the 23-24 term, I'll have to put my glasses on. For that term, It was 45%. We're still finalizing 24, 25. There's still a lot of open claims, so it won't be a complete picture for quite some time. But right now we're at about 16%, which is absolutely amazing. When we talk about loss ratios, if you don't know, it's basically what we pay out versus what we collect. So for every, when I say 45%, for every dollar we bring in, that means we're paying out 45 cents. Not a bad deal when you think about how insurance companies make their money. We're nonprofit, so any of the money that we keep or that we make, we make it in through investment just like every other insurance company. So everything is you know, kept as surplus or paid out to reinsurers or distributed amongst the members with the surplus. So as far as coverage the coverages go, in comparison to what your expiring coverage is, our property, we have a little over $294 million in property. That's your building, your contents, musical instruments, audio-visual equipment, things like that. The deductible on your current coverage that's due to expire was $25,000. We're providing it at $10,000. And there's no roof valuation differential on that. And what I mean by that is a lot of companies are, for older roofs or for wind damage, are putting on these ridiculous deductibles. Some of them, depending on the age, may put it on actual cash value instead of replacement cost. Your house school plan doesn't do that. You have replacement costs of, you know, you have a storm come in, you are, you know, your roof is going to be covered under replacement cost as long as it doesn't have, age doesn't matter, things like that. And while I say that, if we were to have a storm roll through here and multiple buildings were damaged, it's subject to one deductible. So you're not going to have, you know, a deductible on this building, deductible on that building. If it's one occurrence, you're going to have one deductible, which I think is amazing. As an agent who just experienced a couple years ago a tornado with one of my clients, that was a big deal, and every one of their buildings was affected, every one of their vehicles was affected, and the fact that they had a $1,000 deductible was so financially beneficial for them. We're providing, let's see, where are you? $10 million worth of flood, $25 million worth of earthquake. Both are subject to a $25,000 deductible. I think that is the same as what you have currently. In terms of liability, this is where the Ohio school plan is very interesting. Our liability limits are what we call silo limits, which means each liability coverage has its own separate occurrence and aggregate limit. You have, I think a $6 million limit with an $8 million annual aggregate. So each of those liability coverages are subject to that limit. I think you have also a document called structure of limits here. When you look at that, it's kind of compelling in my personal opinion when you look at the top to see what your total limits are that we're providing versus what your expiring coverage is. Because you're not sharing an umbrella, which is what you're doing now, it allows us to be able to provide just crazy limits, really, honestly. So let's see. We're also, we have fiduciary liability, which is something different, and I won't say exclusive. Other carriers can provide it, but they don't. It protects you in the event of claims that are made due to mismanagement or breach of duty with respect to employee benefit plans. This is the only coverage that will actually protect the district and the plan decision makers with protection against the loss of your personal assets. So if you guys make a decision to make some sort of investment and it doesn't pan out and they want to come after you for your decision and attach something to your personal assets, there's coverage for your assets or for protection against that. The violence coverage, like I said, we have $1 million versus $100,000, which is what you have. We do have higher options available up to your liability limit. We're also providing pollution liability. Your errors and omissions liability and employment practices deductibles went from $5,000 to $2,500. We provide $100,000 of non-monetary defense. What that means is if somebody is suing you for something and they don't want damages, they want a change in policy or something like that, we have coverage for that. Buses. The Ohio School Plan provides true replacement cost on buses that are 10 years old or newer. They're scheduled on your policy for $125,000. However, if it costs you $200,000 to replace it, you're going to get $200,000. That's how the form reads. They use 125 really as a rating base without trying to gouge you. They need to get a little bit of premium for it, but they understand that 125 is probably and most likely not enough to replace the bus. And if you guys are going through that process, you know exactly. And the auto deductibles are $1,000 for comprehensive, $500 collision for all buses and other vehicles. Your current deductibles are $5,000 for each. We talked a little bit about cyber, how it was part of the package at one time. When our reinsurer decided, at one point our all-member combined aggregate was $50 million, which meant all of our members could have, or 50 of our members could have $1 million loss in cyber, which we thought was pretty good. The odds are in our favor there. But when they lowered it to $5 million all-member aggregate, we thought that that's just not something, it wasn't a viable option for us. So we started seeking solutions outside. So together with our cyber practice, we partnered with a company called CFC. They're actually out of London. They're very reputable. They have great coverages, great claims handling. But what we did was they developed this, we call it the ASTRA mandatory endorsement. It's exclusive to Ohio School Plan members in Ohio and exclusive for Highland members or for Highland clients in general. We can use it anywhere in the country, but in Ohio it just is available for Ohio School Plan members. It's a really cool endorsement. It provides a lot of stuff. Expanded e-crime, additional social engineering, invoice manipulation. We've seen a lot of that lately. Corporate identity theft. It adds expanded wording for officers, including board members and security officers. Bricking, which is the actual physical damage to your equipment in the event of a breach. Your equipment is rendered irreparable. It includes replacement of that. And it also does will replace automatic door locks, security monitoring, keyless entry, and HVAC systems if those are damaged in any way due to breach. Business interruption, including extra expense, property damage up to $250,000, privacy liability, teacher payroll, and all of those first-party coverages are on an each and every claims basis with no aggregate. When I say no aggregate, that means you can have as many $2 million claims in a policy period, and they will all be covered with a $5,000 deductible. One deductible that is not aggregated, meaning when you have a cyber claim, you can have different types of losses within one claim. Most cyber providers will attach a deductible to each type of loss. You just have one $5,000 deductible for your claims. Does that make sense? That's always been such a confusing thing for me. That's it in a nutshell. I know there's plenty of a lot of information in front of you, and I am available. I think Steve gave you one of my cards to answer any questions at any time. I'm happy to come out and discuss things with the board at any time as well. But we welcome you to the Ohio School Plan. We thank you for entrusting us, and I will certainly do my best to take care of you and make sure you have everything you need. It's a big decision, and it's probably one of the most important things you do, although it's probably the most tedious. And I do have to hand it to Steve. He was, talking about answering questions, taking care of everything, totally transparent through the whole process. There was never any question of, where we stood. I told him earlier, he kind of made me work a little bit for this, and I'm really grateful for it. After 13 years of representing this company, it's, you kind of go the status quo, and it's like, wow, that's really thought-provoking, and he did ask very thoughtful questions, so I appreciate that. I feel like helping me do my job a little better, at least I hope so, so.
Thank you for giving us better coverage and saving us a ton of money.
Yeah, I think it would have ended up being about 18% over your expiring, so.
$75,000.
Yeah.
71.
Over 71, yeah.
That's a lot of money, that's somebody's job.
I was just gonna say, that's a salary, yeah. And these days, it's a big deal, so. But again, I just wanna thank you, and please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions.
I have a question.
Yeah?
Do you know why some of the schools are disapproved for adult support group schedule coverage?
Yep, so we talked, so the PTAs and the PTOs. So the PTAs are the ones that are disapproved, I believe. Those are part of the national organization, and they should be covered under their blanket policy.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Holman, you want to add anything?
No, we really began this process back in January and looked at a total of 6 different companies, and but by far with the coverage and going through everything, we felt this was the best, and did a lot of personal phone calling. Spent a lot of time with Centerville and West Carrollton, you had Huber Heights, you had Valley View. And so as you kind of listen and talk through, when more than half of your school districts in Ohio use it, we really did try to do really good due diligence homework to, so the board, every contract that comes forward will be really, quoted and looked at, so. But I'm very happy, and I think it's a good relationship, and I already have our vehicle, as soon as we approve tonight, I already have our vehicle insurance cards to go in, so.
Yeah, so if you don't approve it, I'm getting them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were very good, and everyone I talked to, because it's always, whenever you convert to and transition to a different company, everyone was they said it was an extremely smooth process.
And the renewal process will be a whole lot easier too. We've got all the information, it's just a matter of updating EDAs, staff, schedules, things like that. So I think you'll find less, you won't lose as much hair next year, I promise.
Since your claims are down to 16%, we expect a reduction in premium, right?
Well,
Another 18%, right?
I don't know, I shouldn't say this in a recorded meeting, but we are very hopeful that within the next year or two, maybe, hopefully, just because of how well we've done, we're hoping for a dividend. So, of course, the longer you're a member, the more money you get, but, we've done really well. We added 26 new members last year for a total of $4.5 million. So I don't know how well we're doing this year. I just worry about you guys and my clients. So, but we're hopeful that we'll be able to see a dividend sooner than later. That's probably a better way to put it. Yeah.
We're hopeful as well.
Yep. Yeah. Trust me, those are fun checks to deliver.
I'm sure they are.
Yep.
Board members, if I could just real quick, I want to just echo a couple things because I think it's crucial that we point it out. Again, kudos to Steve. He and Debbie put in long hours pulling all the data needed. You can't even fathom. If you try to change your own insurance for your home and your auto, you know how much of a pain in the neck that is. Now multiply that times 100 with when you got such large commercial footprint as Miamisburg City Schools. And I just want to give kudos to Carrie as well. Carrie and I had kind of had a swing and a miss at my previous district, and I ran into her at OASBO when this RFP process was already well in gear. And she insisted that she wanted to participate and would do whatever it took to make sure we got everything expedited, to get the quotes and everything. And if that's the type of service that we can expect going forward, I think we're in really good hands because she did everything she committed to, got all the quotes put together and all the data pulled in, and delivered a great end product for us. So.
That's a kind way of saying I bulldozed my way through.
You did.
I
You did
absolutely.
indeed, so.
I truly believe in this plan, and I'm so proud to represent it.
So thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary, I appreciate it.
Thank you. And if y'all are at the Capitol Conference in November, please stop by and see us. And and meet the staff. We've got everybody from risk management, underwriting, upper management, everybody will be there, so please stop by and see us. And grab some, whatever tchotchkes we're giving away that time, I don't know what they are, but thank you so much, I really appreciate it. It was nice to meet everybody as well.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Mr. Wells, may I have a roll call to get it approved?
Mr. Ansler,
Yes.
Mrs. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Malley,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Nunnery.
Yes.
You can keep the
Thank you all
insurance
so
cards,
much.
Steve. Put them in the box.
Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care, safe travels.
Thank you.
C is the approval agreement with Greene County Educational Service Center. As recommended, the Board of Education approve the agreement as presented. May I have a motion for this item?
So
Okay.
So
moved.
moved.
I'm reading and moving at the same time.
Miley Getter and Jason Mallard. Greene County,
This is just a student placement that's just rolling over from last year.
what did I say? Based on everything. Any questions or comments in regard to the Greene County Educational Service? Hearing none, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Ansler,
Yes.
Mrs. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Nunnery.
Yes.
D is the approval with NWEA. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve agreement with NWEA for Matt Grove K-12. May I have a motion
So
for
moved.
that? That would be Mr. Mallory
Second.
and
This is our annual renewal with NWEA for the MAP growth assessments that we use. It's our universal screener for students K through high school. It provides us instructional data and very reliable data on instructional decisions and focuses on growth for students instead of achievement. We've been with them for over 10 years.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Ansler,
Yes.
Mrs. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Nunnery.
Yes.
All right, moving right along. A little at a time. Financial agenda items. We'll go through these and then come back and hit them individually. A is approval of transfer of school fees waived. Treasurer CFO recommends that the Board of Education approve the following transfers. These transfers are for school fees waived January through May of 2026. All transfers were made in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 5705.14. B is the authorization for final appropriations and certificate of estimated resources for 2026. It is recommended by the Treasurer CFO fiscal year 2026 appropriations and certificate of estimated resources be amended as listed in the attached reports. The Board of Education authorizes the Treasurer CFO to make adjustments that would occur in fiscal year 26 prior to sending to the county auditor. Any such changes will be reported to the Board of Education at the July 26 regular board meeting. C, authorization of initial permanent appropriations and certificate of estimated resources for fiscal year 27. E is the adoption of IRS high-low substantiation method.
Item D, sir.
Oh, outstanding checks. Forgot, the treasurer recommends that the Board of Education approve the list of outstanding checks to be voided for the attached. E is the adoption of the IRS high-low substantiation method for travel per diem. The treasurer recommends the Board of Education adopt the IRS high-low substantiation method for travel per diem effective 7/1/26. This per diem methodology will be detailed in Administrative Guidelines AG 6550 with rates in effect at the time of travel. This methodology will remain in effect unless modified by future board resolutions. F is a resolution to allow payment of sales tax for purchases made for personal funds, or with personal funds. The treasurer recommends that the Board of Education resolve and allow reimbursement of sales tax paid on all authorized purchases made district staff using their personal cash, check, or debit credit card. This is done in accordance with with the board policy 6425, revised 4/16/2026, with the Ohio Auditor State Bulletin 25013. This policy shall go in effect 7/1/26 and remain in effect until the board resolves otherwise. Details of this reimbursement process shall be outlined in Administrative Guidelines AG 6425. G is approval of the advances. Treasurer CFO recommends the Board of Education authorize the Treasurer CFO to make end-of-the-year advances from 001 General Fund as needed to prevent negative balances in grant funds. Any advances made in fiscal year 26 will be reported to the board at the July 26th business meeting, and funds permanently returned to the general fund in new fiscal year. H is the approval for items A alpha through G golf. May I have a motion for these financial items?
I approve financial items A through G.
A means and Shelby Nunner. So, Mr. Wells, you will.
I'll try to be brief. Again, school aid, students that are free and reduced, ultimately the district pays for their fees to participate. So those are the class fees, or the fees that are being paid into 200 student activity accounts. Final appropriations, we've wrapped up spending for the year. Everything's been posted, so we run the final appropriations and the certificate of estimated resources. We will continue to receive funds in various manners. That you can always have more resources, you just can't have less. So we'll be able to post that, and these, once approved, then will be sent to the County Budget Commission. Same with the initial permanent appropriations and certificate for fiscal year 27. Some treasurers like to do temporary and then come back in September and do permanent. I just think that's kind of redundant and a waste of time, so why not adopt a permanent right out of the gate, and then each month then we do adjustments as needed throughout the year. The adoption of the IRS high-low substantiation, as I put in my board report, we have not changed our per diem in, I believe it's 12 years or 14 years. We have a $45 per day per diem. Again, when you go to the OSBA capital conference, to try to eat 3 meals a day on $45 is virtually impossible. So what ends up happening is our staff members end up having to eat, figuratively, money out of pocket to be able to pay for that. This IRS high-low substantiation method is highly, has been adopted by government entities and private entities alike, because it's very simple. It sets a two-tier amount. So you have low-cost areas, and then you have high-cost areas. And so if you go to Columbus, Ohio, or Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's the same amount as opposed to going to New York City, for example, or Washington, D.C. So, and it also makes it simple. You get a flat amount. So it doesn't matter what you spent or what you did, you just get a flat amount and you're done. And so it makes it very easy. The employees do not have to provide their receipts. All they have to do is provide substantiation that they actually did the travel and completed the activity as committed. Again, it's widely used across, and we use IRS mileage already, so it just makes sense to adopt this as our per diem as well. The resolution to allow payment of sales tax, again, it's one of those things. It's kind of a creature comfort right now. If one of our staff members, say our art teacher, goes out and buys some art supplies using her personal credit card, By law, she's not allowed to use our tax exempt certificates, so she has to pay tax. Well, then, by previous protocol, we would not reimburse her that tax. Well, that's not fair. So again, earlier in the year, we approved a Neola policy that was in line with the state guidance on that, and so this policy will now put guidance in place into our administrative guidelines that will allow for our staff to be able to get reimbursed for the tax that they pay on purchases made with their personal funds. Advances, I don't anticipate having any. This is more of an a maintenance item that ultimately, if I do get in a position where we have to do it to avoid any negative balances in any funds, I can and come back. Again, those would happen before the end of the year, and then in July they'd be transferred back to general fund. So it's a wash, but I don't like to do it because I don't like to have the impact to general fund, our general fund balances. So I don't anticipate having to need those, but it does give me that flexibility if we discover something between now and the end of the fiscal year that requires it. I believe that's it. Filibuster complete.
I have a couple quick questions. For 2020, for fiscal year 2026, what is our actual end of year deficit in dollars and cents?
It's not locked in yet. It'll be right around $4 million, maybe a smidge less, depending on what receipts we get in between now and the end of the year.
Between, in the next 5 days?
Yeah. It's hovering right at $4 million. When I ran it yesterday, we were at like 4,038,000 or something like that.
Okay. If you look at next question I have is if you look at page 2 of 3 on your report that is titled Certificate to the State of Total Amount of Sources Available from Expenditures and Balances. On page 2 on the top left, it says our cash balance at the end of June is $28.3 million. In the financial meetings that I participated in, I have in my notes a forecasted cash balance of $22.7 million. That's about $5.6 million. Pretty good. Where'd that money come from?
I would assume some of that's probably appropriations being wrapped up and not being used. Again, I don't know to the.
So the unused encumbrances turned into a cash balance. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm sorry. I would have to go back and.
If you wouldn't mind putting some thought into that.
Okay.
Because I mean, $6 million is a big disconnect, and these are some big decisions we're making, and I just want to have the actual real numbers in front of me, and I just hate. It makes me cringe when they change to degrees that are significant. So if you would take a look at that and
Certainly.
Get that to us, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments in regard to the financial items A, alpha through G, golf?
Mr. Mowry, were you looking at the cash balance for July 1? I see a July 1 balance of $28,286,340.
I'm looking at reports. This is report type, certificate, report type, cert ball _ detail. The top item says certificate of the total amount from all sources available for expenditures and balances. And it defines a cash balance in the district as of June 30th as $28.286343 million.
That was the July 1st balance to start the year.
That was to start.
Yes.
That's what we started.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there a report that shows this is what you're getting ready to generate in a few days?
The P&L for the end of the year, yes, we'll have the actuals.
That explains why it's different. Thank you.
Should be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 24 million in general fund, I believe.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Wells, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Amsel.
Yes?
Mrs. Getter.
Yes.
Mr. Malley.
Yes.
Mrs. Neese.
Yes.
Mrs. Gunner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Financial agenda item 2. A, these are separated. A is a resolution requesting certification of estimated tax rates for income tax, the Ohio Revised Code, section 5748.02. Treasurer CFO recommends that the board approve resolution requesting certificate or certification of estimated tax rates for income tax, Ohio Revised Code 5748.02, earned school district income tax as attached. Now, these will be explained, because we have two different ones, but we have a motion. I have a motion for the.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Mallory
I'll second.
and seconded by Sheldon Young. Mr. Wells?
So, in order to give the board flexibility on this matter, we have two different resolutions. The resolution that's currently on the floor is for the earned income tax. We would need to specify a dollar amount under the earned income tax that we would be seeking the Ohio Department of Taxation to certify. The amount that we would ask them to certify would be for $5,575,046 per year.
So,
Is it $5,575,046 for the SDIT? I believe 6.986.319 million is for the traditional income
The
tax.
traditional, yes, well, that would be resolution B.
I'm sorry?
That's resolution 9B.
Resolution?
This is 9A is for the earned income tax, so the amount would be in 5,570, is it 576 or 575? 576,046. And that would be for the certification of the earned income tax.
A is EIT.
Earned income tax, school district income tax is B. I understood it backwards as you explained it.
The
School district income tax exempts retirees and earned income tax for John, correct?
earned income tax has exemptions for pensions and other,
Social Security.
well, Social Security is exempt from both.
Is
Unemployment.
exempt from both.
Yes.
Unemployment.
Yeah. So that's why the earned income tax is the lower of the two amounts.
And that's A.
That is item 9A, correct?
Yeah, doesn't have attention.
All right, well, I'll strike my motion then. Somebody else can motion it.
Can I ask why? Ask why?
No.
Maybe I just thought maybe you had information we don't know about, or?
I just don't, I believe our schools need to be supported by the whole community, not portions of the community. And I don't, my understanding of what we're putting forward is a funding mechanism to fund our school districts to save programs. And one ask will generate, to the best of our knowledge, $7 million, which will save a substantial amount of school programs and positions throughout the community. 0.5% is very low, and I believe, based on the conversations I've had with the constituents that I know in the community that are retired, our retirees want to support our schools, and they want to preserve the property values. And I believe when it comes to supporting schools in the community, everybody needs to do it. And I feel strongly enough about that I will support a ballot measure that puts something on the ballot that applies to everyone. But I'm not going to support something that picks and chooses people in the community based on any parameters.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Well, okay, so you rescinded the motion.
Yeah.
You pick it up, that's fine. What I am gonna say is, 5.6 or 7, I don't really, they're both significant, and they're both needed. Whether the pensions are applied or not, if you have 0, we're going to be making significant cuts.
But if we put a tax levy on the ballot, everybody would pay it based on.
I get it.
the property owner.
I get it, and we have had these financial meetings for a matter of months. And I'm good. I don't have a problem paying 9A, 9B. Obviously, I would be a part of the 9B because that brings in like 7. I don't have a problem. But whether we do the 5.6 or we do either way, we have got some discussions to make over the next 30 days, and we need to go and have those discussions. And yes, do I want a 5.0? I would love to have a 5.0. If we don't, as long as everybody is educated, as long as everybody is on the page of what they are supporting or not supporting, that's an individual that 4 other board members on this board have a right to their opinion, and I respect that opinion 100%. I agree with what you're saying. I don't have a problem. She doesn't have a problem in regards to adding. It's a 0.5%. We were, as we came out, we were at a 0.5% continuous. I'm still at a 0.5% continuous, but I am one voter in this district that doesn't have a problem of doing 9B when we get there. But I understand your concern, and I understand that, we are going to generate more money. What I have a concern about is not passing something that we have to start making huge financial decisions that I don't want to get rid of people because
I understood those decisions don't have to be made for the following fiscal years.
that we could have, I mean, 5.6 or 7, they're both good numbers, but we're talking 1.4 million. So, I get it, I understand. So there was a motion on the table, I could, sure.
I just think that we need to have some more discussion as to, look at some research about the incomes our seniors are bringing in, our retired people are bringing in. I think we need to look at the census and have further, it's more of a work session at this point to talk about which way we want to go, but we can put both of them on for now and then have that discussion later. But we really need to do some research.
And this is just a finalization of getting those accurate numbers.
Tomorrow, I think.
This is just a certification of the numbers, yes. This does not commit us to either one or either one.
We've been having a lot of meetings about this over the last couple of months. I thought that our last work session was what? I was just surprised. I thought we were all engaged. No.
We get a feel.
What we were, Jason's right on one thing. What we agreed to was we were going to get the final numbers at a 0.5 continuous. What we were going to have a discussion on.
Tonight?
Huh?
Tonight, the session was tonight?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, over the next 30 days. We need tonight to have him sent out to the state to get the final accurate numbers.
And the deadline's tomorrow.
And the deadline is tomorrow. So what we were going to discuss, which Jason is right, is whether during that 0.5, besides the unemployment and Social Security and stuff that wouldn't be added to that, the one thing that would be added, whether is the people that are on pensions like myself, or the people like Ann, or whatever the case may
Investment
be,
income.
whether those people would be added to that, that was going to be our that was going to be, that's why it's separated in 9A and 9B. 9A does not have the pensions. 9B does have the pensions. That's what Jason's referring to in regards to, and I get it, and I understand that, hey, and there is a lot of people that would support our school system.
But the deadlines are
And,
different. The deadlines are different. You can,
just to get, we have to get this tonight to move forward
and then we can discuss. the
to
next
make
one.
that decision within the next 30 days at our July meeting, yes.
Okay.
And then we can get the details after we vote on these tonight.
In between tonight and our next
Yes.
regular board meeting.
The motions that are on the agenda tonight are strictly the certifications that we have to get from the state. So basically what they're gonna do is we pass either or both of these resolutions, send that to the Ohio Department of Taxation. They will turn around and say, in order to generate $5,576,000 and some change, you need a 0.5% earned income tax. And that's all it is. And so they certify that back to us. Same thing with Resolution 9B. They'll come back, they will certify that that amount equals 0.5% of a traditional income tax. And at that point, then the board has to choose in July which of the two we're going with. And that's when we have to lock in. And you have to choose one or the other. You don't have a choice, you can't do both.
Thank you for explaining.
My concern is I was under the understanding that the specificity and the details of this ask didn't need to be divulged. And the first thing that we discussed as the highest priority is consistent on-point messaging. And to put two different things that mean two different things into the public record is concerning to me, especially since there is still, it's not resolved at the board level to determine which way we're going to go. So we're being asked to approve these two resolutions, and we're going to go one way or the other, and we'll decide later which one that is. And I just think that goes against what I spent more than 12 hours being a part of to be focused on to be successful. I wanted to be on point, and that was my goal. Not get here to today and be like, well, we're going to go this way, and we'll meet a month from now and determine which it's going to be. And this is a huge decision. And it's not just the retirees. You know, our low-income wage earners, we're asking them to pay as well. So, and they're not excluded either way. And that impacts a huge portion of our community. So, I mean, obviously I feel strongly about this. I respect my colleagues in whatever direction you decide, but it's something that I'm going to be firm on. So I'll just leave it at that.
So in actuality, what we're voting on tonight is that we are going to go forward, period. One way or the other.
It doesn't.
Not necessarily.
It doesn't.
This is all this is just
No,
getting
to get it
certification.
certified. We're going
This is the
forward to get it
certification that
certified.
if
Not
we-
that we're going forward to put it on the ballot, that we're going
Correct.
forward to, we have to get it certified or we
This
can't do
is the
anything.
first procedural vote. There are two procedural votes that have to happen. You know, again, Becky Princehorn, as she did, you know, she outlined it so well in our previous meeting. Ultimately, this is the first procedural vote. The Ohio Department of Taxation has to certify a dollar amount and what that equates to from a percentage income tax.
Yeah, because
That's
there's a
what this-
process to follow.
Yes. But ultimately, the ultimate decision on which direction we go is the second procedural vote.
This is just putting that choice in front of us for later. Like, we have to do this step first before we can make the choice of a traditional versus versus the
The
current.
process is outlined by ORC, requires two procedural votes. This is the first one.
Yeah, okay, got it, thank you.
Two procedural votes on one resolution. We're approving two to give us an option past the procedural vote. All I'm saying is I wish that it was one now.
Well, we still need to do that research about retirees. We haven't done that yet, and I even need to find out how am I to ask the people I know and not get in trouble with the whole procedure. You know, we talked about certain things that boards can do and not do when there's money being put out. There's certain rules we have to follow or we can get in big trouble. So I want to talk about that before I start asking people my age whether or not they would vote on that. And once again, looking at the census to see how the incomes of Miamisburg retirees compare to maybe Centerville or Oakwood, Springboro. We need to really look at some data, and that's why I put both of these on there, do the research, and then we can go from there.
I think this gives us an opportunity to explain it, just like Greg did. This gives us an opportunity to explain it to us again, to have a refresher, and to the public to say this is the procedural part. This comes first and then we can do this. And right now is exactly what we're doing. We're explaining what that is and what that means and what we're voting on. This is a good opportunity to do that, and I think that we've done a good job explaining what that means, and we can go forward and whatever on the agenda is ready to go.
And the plan is to meet on the 22nd of July and then make that determination one day later, right?
We can meet at we can meet sooner.
I'm just going off of the schedule that I've got in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, I threw out,
So how long will it take to do the research that's being proposed? I mean, that might take some time, I would think.
But I just want to make sure.
Well, I think we start the process, but there's a conversation that needs to happen for sure.
yeah, we can, we can meet whenever. We just have to have a decision made, whatever we're gonna do by July 23rd. So, at the latest, we need, at the latest, we have to have, a meeting July 22nd, at the latest. So if, you can send out whatever dates that you're available to me in July to meet, and then we'll coordinate it. I know there's gonna be vacations and things and da-da-da-da-da, but
This is incredibly important. I'll make myself available any date other than the 6th through the 12th.
okay. Just send me your dates that you're available, and so that Stacy and I can sit down with Greg and see what the majority of, or all, lines up. So,
30 minutes.
All
Can we
right.
get your guidance so that in the meantime as to how we approach retirees? I
think
feel
we
like
can
we
talk
need
about
that
that.
guidance.
Yes, at the next meeting, we can talk about that. I don't think it's something that the board should do.
Roll call.
Mr. Ansel,
Yes.
Mrs. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Malley,
No.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Gunner.
Yes.
All right. Second was, Shelby Knight. B is a resolution requesting certification of estimated tax rates for income tax.
I will motion this one. This is one I intended to.
This is the SDIT. The Treasurer CFO recommends that the board approve resolution requesting certification of estimated tax rates for income tax, traditional, base, school, district income tax as attached. And Jason Mallory has indicated that he will motion this.
I'll second.
And again, we have Shelby Nunnery, Mr. Wells.
Yes, this would be in the amount of $6,986,319.
That's what it would generate.
That is the amount it would generate annually, and then again, that will come back to be 0.5% against the traditional base.
And what does that include? It includes the pension, does it include investment income?
It includes certain investment, again, under either of the circumstances, Social Security benefits and unemployment benefits are protected, but it would include pensions and certain investment income as well.
So, just a question, that updated model, did it turn out to be a little better? I don't have the other one to compare it to.
Yes. It wasn't. It did move the needle a lot.
Okay.
You're talking about $20,000, $30,000.
So Greg, you're saying it does include pensions and certain investment income, but not social security or unemployment?
Social Security is not covered under either. Social Security is exempt under either one, the earned income or the traditional mix.
And disability. Yeah, so, yeah.
Any other questions or comments in regards to this item? Hearing none, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Ansel,
Yes.
Mrs. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Gunner.
Yes.
That's 10 is acceptance of donations. It's recommended that the Board of Education accept the following list of donations. All money is used through each school's 018 account unless indicated otherwise. Anonymous donation from Adaptive Stroller valued at $2,200 to the Student Services Department. $1,578.20 from Bear Primary School PTO to the Bear Primary School Library Book Fair. $50 to the Amazon gift card from Naomi Briscoe to Mrs. McCombie's classroom for supplies. $15,000, as we've done the presentation earlier this evening, A.M. Paula Charitable Foundation to the Miamisburg High School Drama Theater Club for the purchase of new sound equipment. May I have a motion for those items?
I move to approve the list of donations.
Second.
And these, and again, we want to say thank you for the donations. And may we have a roll call?
Mr. Ansler,
Yes.
Mrs. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Gunner.
Yes.
Okay, information only. Appointment to the board delegates OSBA for the 2026 Fall Conference and other requested meetings. The Board of Education appoints the following board members to the official delegate and official alternate to the OSBA delegates meeting in 2026 OSBA Capital Conference. And other such meetings may be requested as a position. All official delegates may speak and vote at all resolutions and other business. Last year's was Nyla Getter and Ann Neese was the alternate. Does anybody have a desire to be the official
Can you
delegate?
give me some idea about what this role includes?
I'll do it, Chris.
Great.
Yeah, the OSBA conference?
Yes.
Great. Is there any limit, what?
You sit in a meeting,
You vote on
and
policy.
you vote on policy. They present and then you vote.
Is that that's at the OSB? in
Yes.
the-
The
Yes.
general session,
Yes.
the general session, business session.
Yes.
Does anybody want to be
I'll be the alternate.
the alternate?
If no one else wants to.
I would do it.
Oh, hey, let Shelby, because I did it last year. It's okay.
All right. Jason and Michelle. All right. Okey-doke. Well, thank you both. Appreciate it. B is the nomination to the Executive Committee for the Southwest Region, Ohio School Boards Association for various offices which will be elected. Last year, Jason Mallory held this position. Does anybody have a desire to fill this position?
I'll do it again because they never called me once. I never heard anything from anybody, so if nobody wants to do it, I'll do it again.
All right.
Thank you.
We are down to the reports. Miami Valley Career Technology Center, Molly.
Good evening. It's nice to be here. I did want to recap May because it was such an exciting month for Miami Valley CTC. We had 869 students at the senior recognition ceremony at UD Arena. 210 of those graduated with honors. The graduating class was actually 898 students, and we had 99.9% graduation rate of the whole class. Everybody that was accessible graduated except for one student who missed one class who took it this summer. So as of August, we will have 100% graduation. So that's pretty impressive. Our Aspire graduation, it was the adult graduation, which I attended, is the biggest party you'll ever attend. These people are so excited and it's so life-changing for them that it's a very joyous ceremony. So if you ever get a chance to go, you should definitely go. It took place on May 28th at 6 p.m. and they had over 100 students of all ages participating, and they had over 1,000 people there to support them. So it was really impressive. They're beginning their training for our new student ambassadors for the 26-27 school year for Miamisburg and for all the other involved school districts. June, summer's kind of settling in and we're in the process of hiring for summer jobs. They've updated 6 different handbooks, looked at retirements and new hires, evaluations and building maintenance, kind of what you guys are all going through as well. We have 2 board meetings in June. So the board retreat is this Saturday morning, so then we'll go more in depth with their financials and where they're positioning themselves and what the student body is doing and things like that. So next month I'll have a good report on our retreat. It's just plans on the coming year and how all of these House bills are going to affect us and everything. And I also brought with me a great article about that Dr. Weldy sent out about the property tax crisis, and I have included that in my report. So, any questions?
I just want to thank you for attending all the meetings and representing us at CTC.
Thank you.
I
love
being
being here.
program, and I can tell that you really love it.
Yeah, they're very inspiring people, and it's great to see these opportunities for all the students and the staff, and it's a great place to be. So thank you.
Shall we not,
Just like a please. So I do have my full report attached to the agenda that one can go and look at, but I do want to briefly go over some items just to highlight to the administration and cabinet. The Senate Bill 276, the success sequence, that passed both chambers and is headed to the governor. And inside that bill is a larger omnibus education bill, and is requiring that districts provide instruction in what's called the success sequence. It's a framework that promotes a very specific life order that students are going to be required to learn about: graduating high school, getting a job, getting married, and having children as a pathway for economic stability and success. So now if the governor signs that, that is going to have to be a part of our curriculum. So the operational challenge isn't whether to teach it or not, because if the governor signs it, it's signed. We don't have a choice, but we must make sure that we are training our teachers and letting them know what's going on with that. We want to be sure to try to reflect a wide range of family situations, even though that that might not be something reflected in all the students that we have. And we just need to make sure we have professional development guidance for our staff, most importantly. Another one is monitoring to action. Is several bills that we've been tracking are no longer pending and they're headed to the governor or already passed. That changes a lot of conversations for what might happen to what we need to do. Senate Bill 19, the math intervention bill. I don't know if anyone has. Yes. Yep, it's passed, and we need to have, making sure, I'm sure you guys are on top of that, then I'm assuming you already know, you're shaking your heads, yep, we know what that is. Very similar to a reading intervention, now we have math intervention, so I'm assuming you guys are already into those, into that work, so.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, fun. And then some other summer deadlines, we want to make sure that July 1st is the deadline for us to adapt our AI use policy under H Bill 96. August 1st, the deadline for our student absence policy, but that needs to be developed in consultation with the juvenile court and parents, not just a model policy. It needs to be all inclusive in that. We need to make sure we're satisfying that requirement, so I just want to make sure administration is on top of that and confirming we're on track for both of those. Do we have any buildings that are over 100 years old? Okay, so never mind. I almost had good news, but yeah. There was just a bill that was recently funded that we could have qualified for. Yeah, how old is Kinder?
It's been all redone.
Okay. maybe we can look closer to see if we qualify, even though it's been redone and maybe structurally, I don't know. But that might be something to look into at SB 450. But now the General Assembly is on summer break. They seem like they just got back from break. Lucky them. So that gives us some time to review things, especially as we are getting ready to start school in August. So we have some time to really dig into that stuff if we need to. But that's it.
Nothing on the student achievements, usually during the summer months, so hopefully Miamisburg and these.
Yeah, there's 3 attachments. One's about Berg Night Out. We have the school supplies mostly for the elementary school, but we still need supplies for middle school students and high school students. So if there's anyone out there in the community that wants to donate, my phone number's on the attachment.
When is Berg Night Out?
Oh gosh, let me look at my attachment.
July 31st.
Friday, July 31st. Okay,
Thank you. I just went right down for my head.
And then the other attachment is about the critical repair services. It's been formerly named the Miamisburg Neighborhood Home Repair, and there's actually a phone number there where you can apply for home repairs. And then the third attachment is the Park Ambassador Program. They need volunteers at the parks, for concerts, at the soccer fields, at the baseball fields.
I think you get free swag with that, I saw. If you're a volunteer, I saw the flyer.
Yeah, so yeah, take a look at those flyers, there's a lot of good information.
Roundtable. I'll start with the 2 board members and Mr. Kirk. You got anything? So, our 2 new board members. As we get done with the end of the meeting, occasionally, if you've got something for your class, directly or whatever, you can speak up. Trust me, Andrew was the same his first night, but he was talking by the end. So,
Be quiet.
But so we start. Sometimes I start to the left. Sometimes I start to the right. Brief couple, whatever your class normally during school. Hey, sophomores are doing this, the juniors are doing this. Da, 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 da. So that's how that is. Anything else?
I just want to say how grateful I am to be here. It's an incredible opportunity. I'm so happy to be here. I think the junior class is sleeping in and staying up late to play and doing a whole lot of nothing as they should be.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say, but I'm just really happy to be too. I think you guys have a lot of fun. I'm really this, but I haven't met Brayden, but I've heard good things. So but yeah, I think everyone's having a great summer. I'm excited for school to start.
Unfortunately, I'm no longer.
I was gonna say, Kate just shared with me, she's taking a CCP class. She likes school that much that she's going to school in the summer.
Is it online?
Yeah. I'm actually taking one too.
Oh my goodness, tell me.
Yeah. But unfortunately, I'm not a junior anymore, so I will not be going to bed late. I want to go home, and I hope all of you do too, to get to bed. So I will keep this short. But very excited to meet our new board reps. I know we saw them at the luncheon that we had. Yeah, I'm really excited for the things we can do together this year. Doing this age of Sophia already, but I think we can do some great things together, so I'm very excited.
Mr. Mallon.
There were a couple questions that were asked in public comments that were great questions. And it was about being transparent with the community about why we need to ask for additional funding. And I've told many people, when you're on the outside of the curtain, you make a lot of assumptions about waste. And then you come over on the side of the curtain that I'm sitting in now, you sit for 12 or 13 hours in meetings with the superintendent's cabinet and Mr. Ansler, and you'll find a group of people that are working their butts off to cut expenses, to survive. I mean, they're smart people. And when you see what's driving the need, it's staff. I mean, you know, Mr. Wells helped me a little bit. Out of the $71 million we spent this year, 52 million of it was on employees, right?
80%.
So 80% of what we spend is on the people that we employ to teach our kids. So, but I just can't reiterate to the community how impressed I was at, you know, there was no stone that was left unturned. I think Chris would, you know, agree with that. I mean, everything from internet waypoint to you name it, it was discussed. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, it's been impressive. Beyond that, I want to welcome Braden and Amanda. Not all meetings are this long. Something else that happened, you know, it was in the news and it really was kind of exciting. I saw that our 7th grade math teacher, Mr. Madigan, was chosen to fly with the Blue Angels at the Dayton Air Show. And it was really cool. And I kind of looked into his story about how he was recognized for using CPR to save someone's life at a gym. And I just think, you know, when it comes to community pride, people who are doing things like that in the community being recognized, they need to be celebrated. So I'll just give congratulations to Mr. Madigan and pass it on to Mrs. Getter.
I'd like to thank the community for being so supportive of our school system. I mean, I'm so proud to be a Viking, and I was a Mount Gopher too. So proud because I know that our community loves our schools, and you can tell that. The teachers every day, how much they pour into our students, just it's amazing. And I see that because I'm in the schools. I volunteer at the schools, and I see what they do every day. It's just amazing. And then to have a family whose son participates in the drama program lead out and make that tremendous donation so that further, not just their student, but students to come can participate in the drama program, and we can present these programs to our community. So I'm overwhelmed tonight. I feel so blessed to be a part of this community, and I just want to thank everybody.
Ann?
No, I just wanted to congratulate the retirees, welcome the new board reps. We had a lot of fun at silos. And then I just wanted to say something about Jackson Coates. He's a theater student, he's a 2026 grad, and he totally renovated the theater room by adding dividers for the props and then just putting all the props back into little cubbies and making it really neat and orderly. It was an Eagle Scout project, and if you get a chance to pop in there and look, it's beautiful. So it was kind of a mess before. So thanks to Jackson Coates.
Yeah, Jackson did an incredible job. We took the whole day to take out everything, and I was only there for a section of it. But he incredibly, we have so much more space in the prop room just next door. And having the sound system will be such a blessing. It's such a huge deal because most people don't know this, but we also get judged on our shows. And so when one part of our aspect is lacking, it brings everything down. And something as big as sound, when you can't hear the story, is a huge deal. So it's going to be a huge, you have a kid in here, it's going to be a huge, deal that we have this sound system. We can focus our fundraising on our shows and not getting a sound system.
Ms. Shelby?
Welcome to the new board reps, and hello again to our other reps. I'm excited to work with all of you. And Jana, thank you for sharing your information. If you would be so kind to email that to all of us, if you have that in text form to send to us in an email, I would like to review that again. You have some great data points there. And then welcome to all the new staff. I know there was a lot of rearranging within the district with secretaries and principals and paraprofessionals and people moving around. So I welcome all the new staff members in their positions, and thanks Steve for all your hard work with that aspect and the insurance, and you've been staying busy over the summer, so I appreciate you. And that's all I have.
Mr. Wells?
Mr. Home, I concede my time.
Do I have to use this? Or can I
Oh,
go for
good.
it? So I just realized as we were doing our, we were doing, just pass. As we were doing our insurance talk, that this was the meeting I was boarded at last year. And it's hard to believe that it's been a year since I've
Wow.
been here. It's flown by and I've loved every single minute of it. The staff that I'm able to work with on a daily basis, these guys and all of the teachers are some of the most incredible professionals I've ever worked with. So I'm excited to see what we do next year.
Happy 1 year in employment.
I know.
anniversary.
I know.
Good. Pass.
2 words, Bauer Bees.
Bring it back.
Yes, with that being said, 2 things. I would like the board members to text me, email me, I don't care, what your thoughts are of bringing back the mascots to the individual schools. Yes, just at the elementary schools. I think it's important. I know we have great banded and, but I still, there's been some interest there through teachers, through parents, to bring that back. So I thought I would mention it this evening. And then again, I know the 2 resolutions in regards to the income tax, whether it's earned income tax or traditional. I support both. I have to support both. I know we need it, and I understand everybody's concern, and I think each and every one of you have a right to your own opinion. And nobody's wrong. Not one of us is wrong. We just have to come to agreement. Do I want 5-0? Absolutely. If we don't, that's fine. As long as you're giving your opinion and you're honest and forthcoming, that's all I can ask. So with that being said, I would ask that you either text me or email me at least by the first part of the next week, at the latest by probably Sunday night, what your availability is up through July 22nd, so we can have either one meeting or multiple meetings if needed to come to an agreement of where we're going to move. This doesn't lock us into anything. This only gives us the ability that if we decide to move forward, we have that ability. So that's all tonight's was. And we're looking at a traditional or an earning income, and that's it. So after that, congratulations. We had some retirements. I know we had some 2 new principals that left us shortly. So
Can't blame them. We wore them out.
well, I told them upstairs, we'll be done by 7:30, no later than 8 o'clock. I was wrong. 8:30. Superintendent.
Okay, that's a lot of pressure to hurry up.
Yeah. Clock's ticking.
I do have a couple things I would like to say, though. I want to thank the cabinet here in Miamisburg Schools and our fantastic administrators. Shutting down a school on a school district calendar is like shutting down a Fortune 500 company and starting it back up, which you wouldn't consider doing. And oftentimes, thankfully for our students and families and teachers, summer's a time to rest and recharge, and we try to get that in. But often summer months are the hardest and longest and most taxing for cabinet and administrators that work. And so thank you all for all the work you're doing now. And I'd like to give a special thank you to Tammy Sunderman and Sarah Busick, who have put in extended days on their contract to ensure the transition into our Bear preschool and our Mark Twain merge. It happens in a way that feels smooth and efficient and welcoming to everyone, and they have just gone above and beyond, so I wanted to say that publicly. There is some movement happening. We have the affectionately called cottage on Central, and we do have some office movements happening. We're excited to announce a couple of those. Our technology department is going to be moving into our middle school, which we're excited about to have that there. It actually, little known to me until after we had all talked about this many times, that's how the original plan for the middle school was drawn up and included the tech department. There's a fantastic back wing, exterior door off of one of the wings that's going to be very accessible for them to just have their own department there. So there's some movement around the district happening, again, for efficiency reasons, again, for making the work easier for everyone, and to make sure we're doing our best. The mascots, I'm interested to hear about that. I will tell you, we talk about all being Vikings, and we are, but there are some undercurrents of little mascots that have not ever gone away. They very much are existing in our elementary schools, but to make them formal sounds exciting and intriguing. Finally, we have the golf outing, the alumni golf outing, which is a huge fundraiser, and they give a lot back to our district, and those funds are spread across the district in all buildings from that fundraiser every year. Big day on Friday, July 31st, Miamisburg. That is the golf outing at Pipestone and the night out. So it is going to be just a lot of fun on Friday, July 31st. And I believe, finally, happy 4th of July between now and our next meeting. I hope everyone enjoys the 250th 4th of July celebration. So thank you all, and thank you to the school board for having the hard financial conversations. You have my commitment publicly that we are doing our best to be very smart financial stewards for our district and making smart decisions for our kids that are also very fiscally responsible. So we're doing our part. I appreciate your part, and in advance, I appreciate the part of the community as we walk through this difficult conversation. So thank you. And welcome, new board members. I said that when I came down, I met you and talked with you, but I'll say it again. Welcome. We're so happy to have you. And back for a new year.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Murray, and second by, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Hansler?
Yes.
Mrs. Getter?
Yes.
Mr. Malley?
Yes.
Mrs. Neese?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
8:32.